Hello my friends and welcome back to the rabbit hole. Today's video is going to be all about LED masks, my own experience, what's happened to my skin over the past month of using this one. We are going to talk all about the science behind these LED masks, both for fighting acne as well as fighting the signs of aging. And if you are new to this channel, please know that there are always timestamps to each section in the description box below. The mask we're going to be talking about today is by the brand Qure. Just so you know, this video is not sponsored. I did receive this in PR though. I think what I want to do for today's video, before I get into my review and results and the science, I do want to start with some basic info about my skin, just in case you're stumbling upon this channel. I always feel kind of awkward explaining this these days because a couple years ago, when I came on camera and said I had acne and had, 8 pimples on my face, it was a lot easier to convey that I actually do have acne. So now that I'm sitting here with much clearer skin, I gotta give a little bit of an intro as to why. So I have dry skin. I've always had dry skin, but I started to experience adult acne in my 20s, and I just cannot say that sentence without grimacing because it was so frustrating. If you ever go from not having acne past your teen years to suddenly having it, you can just be guaranteed that every person in your life is going to come to you with a solution, often well-intentioned, but nonetheless frustrating. You're going to get a lot of, have you ever tried washing your face? What is that? What is washing your face? And I always try to emphasize I do feel I'm the exception and not the norm, in that the typical dermatologist and doctor route didn't work out for me. My body is very fragile to medicate. Very fragile. It's very frustrating. We talked about this last week. So that didn't work. And then since I have dry skin and acne, a lot of the more conventional acne treatments also didn't work. So this entire time I've had this channel, I've been trying to figure out what to do for my acne. And that is all to tell you that in terms of acne treatments for myself, I've got a pretty darn good system down. Would you like me to summarize everything I do for my skin? So basically, benzoyl peroxide face wash every other day, left on for 5 minutes. Emphasis on anti-inflammatory spread of bacteria, also bring in some tea tree oil. It's a lot. I know it's a lot. This is why I always feel bad when people come to me and they're like, can you just give me one simple solution? No. I kid you not, everything I condensed into that is truly what I do, but that still doesn't mean it's going to work for other people. That allergy aspect is a huge issue. And this is where we enter the LED face mask territory, because all those things I talked about, there's a potential for allergy with so many of those, with pretty much any skincare product on the market. Not pretty much, all of them. But what has a very, very low risk? And before I share my own results with you, I want to turn to the science. First and foremost, the peer-reviewed primary literature. I'm going to make sure to have a citation below that is one of my favorite lit reviews on this topic. It actually covers 155 of these studies. Yeah, 155. See, I'm not kidding. There's a lot of research. And this is especially important in comparison to some of the other devices on the market. This is why I didn't get too heartbroken over missing out on the microcurrent device in the Ulta sale. There's not as much research behind that. When it comes to LEDs, lots of research. So while 155 studies is a whole heck of a lot to take in, I want to condense kind of the main take-home parts, and then when we get into my experience, I'll tell you what I saw. I think what's so exciting about LED technology is that it impacts intracellular reactions. In other words, it penetrates pretty deeply into your skin. And this does stand out in contrast to skincare products, because what is the main function of your skin? It's a barrier. You against the world? So when you are talking about skincare products, the formulators of those products always have to be working very hard to figure out how to get those products to actually absorb deeper into your skin versus to just sit on the surface. And then with all these different wavelengths of LEDs we have, I think there are two that kind of get the most focus, and that would be red light and blue light. And again, summarized very simply, Red light basically helps with skin elasticity. It helps to increase collagen production in your skin, which is why we tend to see red light as the anti-aging wavelength. And then with blue light, it doesn't penetrate as deeply, but it is very effective at killing bacteria, including the bacteria that causes acne. So since those wavelengths do different things, what happens if we combine those? And for that, I actually found a study on combination therapy with incredibly promising results. They saw a 78% improvement in inflammatory lesions, which you know what that's referring to, right? Those angry pimples, the ones that are so frustrating that we often assign them a name. So this is Fred. He's pretty much the worst roommate ever, doesn't even pay rent. And you know how I'm constantly talking about the potential for allergens with pretty much any skincare product in existence. This has to be one of my favorite aspects of LED therapy. It is extremely low risk. So all of this sounds wonderful, but one of the main questions that comes up anytime you bring up LED therapy is, okay, but most people are going into a clinic to do that, and it's a pretty expensive treatment. What are these home devices? Do they possibly compare? In fact, there are studies that have looked at this, and they have indeed found promising results. So how did it go for me? What happened to my face? So I used the mask for an entire month, once a day, and then to really see how things went, I quit using it for an additional week. I think one of my main questions for myself was, would I stick with it? Because there certainly are a lot of things that have sounded like good ideas in my head, but then I don't do the thing that I bought. Whereas this is a 3-minute treatment where I basically just kind of zone out, meditate, if you will. And it actually turns out, and I know this from my week off, it turns out that I actually really started to look forward to that 3 minutes. I think it's because my brain is always running at 200 miles an hour. I don't know if you can tell this from my videos or not, but yes, my brain is always going. And so for those brief 3 minutes, I would just close my eyes, sit back, and just think about nothing. For the first 3 weeks, I stuck with the anti-breakout treatment. And what happened is, after 3 weeks, I realized I'd only had one little tiny pimple. So I started thinking, maybe I should be trying the anti-aging system. But I still have acne, so I don't want to get too ahead of myself. So that's when I started just alternating the two. Anti-breakout one day, anti-aging the next, and that's what I'm going to stick with. I really liked that treatment approach. It's really important for me to give you super honest results, and this is why I think it does get tricky for me with my, skincare channel over here to really have an intense before and after. That's why I hinge so much on the studies at this point. Let me tell you, as a clinical research coordinator myself, I am not a good candidate for any kind of acne treatment. I do too much. And that's why that week off actually holds so much value to me. So not only did I find myself really missing doing this treatment, but I noticed I kind of have a little bit more congestion in my skin. It's not that I have, severe breakouts going on. I do a lot to prevent that, but my skin just looks a little bit more grumpy than it looked before. So if I was to choose one word to characterize what I think my experience with this mask would be, it's anti-inflammatory. You see what I'm talking about, right? I'm not wearing any kind of foundation. You see how I have just a little bit of mild inflammation going on my skin? I didn't have that a week ago. And because I have a skincare channel and I'm constantly filming my face, you can easily see any of my videos within the past month and see, oh yeah, you look a little more congested. So I think it's really interesting to me that even for me, with everything that I do, I still absolutely cannot question that I saw results from using this. So let's talk specifically about this face mask. I do want to make sure I let you all know how this works, how much it costs, all of that. One of the main things that drew me in to this specific company right here is that I really like their goal in creating this. They say all of this on their website, but they do want to make this LED therapy more accessible to everybody. So the price of this face mask is $299, which is officially the best price I've ever seen on an LED device, although they did say that's an introductory price. I'm not sure how long that will last. And I have a 10% off link in the description box below, so you can actually get this for $270. And I'm going to show you a quick unboxing and show you the features of this mask. Here we have the box that your Qure device comes in. If you take a look at the side here, you'll see all the details on how to use it. If you take a look at this side right here, we have all the specs on the LEDs. This is, of course, quite convenient if you are a nerd to the level that I am, as you can take your primary literature that you printed out so you can write all over and compare it to those specs. It's quite interesting also that they chose more than one wavelength for the two separate treatments, and it will make sense when you use the mask. As you can see, this isn't just pure red light here, nor is this pure blue light. In fact, it's really quite purple, which makes sense when you see that it has red and blue within it. And when you open the box up, you can see that this package is excited to see you too, which really works well with the uncanny valley of the mask itself. I kid, in all truth, I actually think it's quite an aesthetically pleasing face mask. And then there is a drawer down here which contains your charger cable, as well as a nice little storage bag that you can put the mask into. So you have a couple of options for how to use the app. One is you can just click the button or press the button on the forehead there and then cycle through your options. So this one is, of course, your anti-aging treatment, and then this one is your anti-breakout treatment, and each of those will run a 3-minute session for you. Or you can use the app. Now, to be honest with you, I don't use the app all that often. I kind of feel like apps are such a good idea in theory, but the reality is if I have to use an app with the device, it means I will have to first find the device, then go through the whole, hey, can you call my phone? I need to find my phone, and then finally use the app and the device. So I appreciate that you can use it without the app. But should you choose to use the app, you all know that TikTok trend that's been going around that is, say you're blank without using those words. Say you're poor without saying you're poor. Here's my phone. Thankfully, the app is indeed available on either Android or iPhone. So you hit the connect button, start your treatment, and then you can customize your treatment here. This is pretty nifty because you can say, okay, I want anti-aging on my forehead, anti-breakout everywhere else, just so you know. That is absolutely how I used the app, and then just the full face option is down here. So see how that'll give you the targeted anti-aging on your forehead and then anti-breakout everywhere else. That is pretty nifty. And you also have this calendar option, so you can plan out your treatments. It shows you how many you've done specifically through the app. So that is all nice if you're somebody who is really into using apps. And then I'm just going to give you a quick little demo. Of course, it is very intuitive, but just so you can see. It comes with a strap so you can secure it comfortably to your face, and then you hit the button 1 time to do the anti-aging treatment, and then 2 times for anti-breakout, and then just let it go. 3 minutes later, it will auto shut off. Are there any potential cons, or are you just going to rave about this mask, Alice? Well, to be honest with you, I really don't have a lot of cons. I only saw improvement in my skin. I think the price is the best I've ever seen. But I managed to find a little con for my own super sensitive eyes, and it's specifically with the anti-aging setting here. This is pretty bright. Obviously, you're advised not to look directly at it, but it was kind of leaking into my eyes. Now, here's the thing. First of all, I'm a huge baby with my eyes. We can go off in the comments about this. I am such a baby. So I'm telling you, I have sensitive eyes in the first place. But secondly, I'm a problem solver. So I went on Amazon, and for $4, I got these little tanning goggles, and I fit them over the top of it. So this is how I personally look when I'm doing the anti-aging treatment. Now listen, I know it may look a little ridiculous, but it solves my problem. Again, $4 on Amazon, no more problems, no more sensitive eyes, so I'll link those in the description box below as well. So I guess that's really all I have to share with you all today. Let me know in the comments below if you've tried any forms of LED therapy. Let me know how it has worked out for you, because in the end, all I can tell you is thank you so much, Qure, for sending this over, because I really love it. Man, I'm telling you, that week off, that's what really proved to me just how much I benefit from this mask. If you love what's that thing they used to say? It was always all over Facebook. If you love something, let it go. And if you find yourself missing it, then you know. I don't think that's how it went. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. If you found it helpful, please make sure to give this video a like, as it does really help my videos out. If you're interested in more information on this device, again, check the description box below. Please consider hitting the subscribe button, and I will see you all next time.